Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode on the Police Academy. I am the Hackster, bringing this video to you today. And today we're going to work on some of the architectural elements of the model. I've already resaved this file as architectural instead of a structural. And then I deleted all the elements out of it. And then I linked the Revit structural model back in. And the reason I do that is so that way I can keep all the views I've already set up and it's positioned where I want, and that just kind of makes it easier to do it that way. So we're going to focus on getting the exterior walls in here, and then we'll look at maybe trying to put in some of the doors and the windows. I don't know if we'll get to this high roof. That tends to take some time based on what I did for the Fire Academy. I can tell you that takes a little bit of time to do that. But we're definitely in this episode going to try to at least get the exterior walls in. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright, so here is the Fire Academy that I had already worked on. So you can see now the architectural elements. This is just the exterior. I haven't done the interior. But you can see it looks a lot better once you start getting the architectural elements on there. And the reason I came to this model is because I want to steal some of the wall systems that I've already made, because these two buildings use the same spec. They were designed by the same folks. So I'm going to steal some of the families that are within this file and use them in the other file so that I don't have to recreate the wheel over again. So I'm going to steal these exterior walls. I'm also going to steal all these panels that I custom designed. Basically, I just took the profile of the panel itself and then I created a line-based family off of that, so that way I could place them. And again, you know, it's just like the metal deck, right? I could have just used some sort of flat surface and then put some sort of picture texture type thing on top of it, but you know, I like to actually see the detail. I like to see, you know, the indentations of the surface and stuff, because it makes it feel more real. You know, you can kind of see here next to the windows. And again, you know, that's personal preference, you know, and it goes back to the 4D simulation as well. So if I wanted to simulate this in 4D, you know, I think it'll look a lot nicer. So, but yeah, I'm going to steal these panels. I'm going to steal the walls. And I'm going to steal these panels up here as well. And yeah, so I'm going to take those items and then I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to export them from this file and then import them into the other file. Okay, so for those of you who have not done this before, one really easy way to get the families out of your project is you know, just to export them all at once. And I've found the best way to do that. First thing I do is I come to the Manage tab, and then I go to Purge Unused, and I'm gonna purge everything out of this program that is not currently being used in the project. Now, you may want to save this as another file first before you do this. That, or just make sure that once you've done this that you don't save the file, because there may be some of these families that you want to use later, but you just haven't gotten there yet. And the only reason I'm purging them out first is so it's not trying to export out a bunch of families that I don't necessarily need. I'm trying to only export out the ones that are currently being used. So I'm going to hit check all, and it tells you how many items down here at the bottom it's currently looking at purging. And then we hit OK. And it really shouldn't take that long. I always go back in and I hit purge unused again, because for some reason it just doesn't catch them all the first time. And then I do check all, 35, hit OK, and then I go one more time, and I just kind of keep doing this until that finally says 0. Okay, so now it says 0, so now I'm done. So now that I've got everything purged out that I don't plan on using, you come up here to File, and we're going to say Save As, and this time we're going to do Library. Okay, so you want to save as the library, and then you're going to choose Family. Alright, and then once you've done that, then you just need to choose where you want to save these these families. So navigate to where you want to save them, and then you just hit the save button. Alright, so I've gone ahead and hit save, and then you'll see down here at the bottom, it's kind of going through all the different families, and so you can see the progress down here at the bottom. Okay, so now that I have exported out the families from that file, I just need to bring them into this one. So I'll hit insert and load family, and then I'll just navigate to where I need to put the file or get the files from. Okay, and then you just go to wherever you saved those files from before. And so these are all the families that were in the previous file. So then just grab the files that we want. So we're going to want these bridge panels, and I'm going to want the furring, the F12 panels, the trellis. I don't think this has one, but we'll grab it just in case. We'll grab the standing seams, that was for the roof. Okay, and I think that was everything I wanted to grab. So then we'll just hit open. It will bring those files into our project. Alright, so now to bring the walls over, I'm going to just switch over to the fire model, and I'm just going to select this wall, and I'm going to do Control C, Control V. I'm going to copy it from here, and I'm going to paste it over here. It's telling me it's going to use the materials that are into which the project is being used. It's going to use the materials from this project, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to paste it down somewhere. And so if I click on this wall, it's going to say it's a CMU 4-inch limestone. And the reason that I do that is because now it's one of the families that's here on this project. For some reason, when you export the families from another project, it doesn't bring the walls over for some reason. I don't know why. It seems like that should definitely be something it brings over. But this is a real easy way to bring them over, and then I would just delete them. So I'm going to do that for all the walls that I want to bring over. So I did it for the limestone. I'm going to do it for this wall as well. So Control V, C, and then Control V. And then in order to see the other wall below that, I need to hide this. That's where I say hide. Control C, Control V. Okay. Alright, and so some other things I'm also going to grab while I'm here. I do remember I made some other roof types, so I'm going to make sure I grab those as well. And I use them mostly just for soffit stuff, but I know I'm going to need them in the other one too, so I might as well bring those over while I'm at it. And I think that should pretty much be it. So I can go ahead and delete all these now. Okay. So now that we've got those families in here, I can go back in here, I can close this file because I'm not going to need that. And I won't save it. Okay, so let's go to the level 1 view. And so we're just going to be creating a wall that goes all the way around. So we're going to go to the walls, and we're going to do the 6-inch CFM with glass mats and rigid insulation, and then it also has interior gypsum, so that's how I named that. And I did it this way because, I put the brick and I put the exterior siding on as separate. So this is the wall without those elements. The first thing I want to do is I want to come over here and look at the thicknesses. So I want to know what the thickness is of these 3 items without this item, and then without this item. So I've got 1 30-seconds and 31 30-seconds, so it's basically 1 inch, and then I got a 1/2 inch. So 1.5 inches is just these 3 items. Now the reason I need to know that is because I need to make sure that when I place this wall that I'm offsetting it so that that 1.5 inches is sticking out over into this ledge, because technically those items go below the ledge. So we're going to come over here and we're going to say the top constraint of this is going to be, we'll say top of steel for now. I mean, that could be different. Instead of course center line, we're going to go with the finish face exterior. And the offset we're going to put at negative 1.5 inches. We'll see if that gives us what we want. It might be positive 1.5. I can't remember which way it goes. Okay, so that's going to be a positive 1.5 inches, not a negative. Okay. Alright, so you'll see, the outline here, those items are hanging out over the edge, and that's exactly what we want. So we're going to come, and we're going to draw this all the way around the building. And we're going to stop at these points right here, because that's where a doorway goes. And to there, and then we'll just keep going. It chains it as we go. Again, we're going to stop at the doorways, and then just pick up on the other side. Alright, so we've now got the walls drawn all the way around. So if I go to a 3D view, you can now see the walls drawn all the way around, which is what we want. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to use the section views to go in and make some changes to these walls. So I'm going to grab this section view and I'm going to drag it down here. And I want to go look at this wall from the side. Okay, so when I made these walls, I made it so that you could pull parts of the wall either higher or lower than the bottom of the wall. And the way that you do that, if you haven't done that before, is you come and you edit your wall, and then you say edit, and you're going to want to make sure you got your preview turned on, and then change it from floor plan to section. And when you do that, it turns on these vertical structure modifiers. And this is what we're going to be using to do that. So if you zoom all the way down in here so that you can see all three of these layers, essentially what I've done is I hit modify and then you click on it and you'll see if it's locked or if it's unlocked. So I have already unlocked these three layers. So that one's unlocked as well. And then you'll see if I zoom out and if I click on this one, it's going to say it's locked, and this one is also locked. And I want those to stay locked. And so what that means is that when I go to pull these three layers up or down, they will all move together as an unlocked item. And I believe I also did that at the top as well. So that one's unlocked, and I'm pretty sure that other one's unlocked. And then these are both locked. So I did the same thing on the top, because there's instances where these three layers will continue past steel where we hit the steel. So, and you'll see that as we put these walls in. But that is how you modify your walls. Okay, so we're going to come to the wall and we're just going to pull this down so that it gets to the bottom there. And we're going to go ahead and do that for all the walls around the project. So I'm just going to be going around and pulling around these section cuts to make sure that we do that on all the walls. Okay, so I think that was the last one. I think I've gotten them all. I'm just going to do a quick look at it from the 3D view and make sure. I think I missed that one right there. I think that was all. I think that was the only one I missed. Okay, so I just need to do that little wall right there, which is a tiny wall, so it's understandable that I missed it. go. So I should have them all now. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is figure out what the height of these walls that come in here are. And then we need to place those walls. So I'm going to refer to the drawings for that. Okay, so from what I can tell looking at the drawings is that all of these exterior walls here, so I'm going to go ahead and click them all. Do that wall, this wall, I'm actually not sure about that wall. Okay, so these walls should all go up to the top parapet. So those walls all go to the parapet. The back wall will keep at the top of steel because there's going to be a sloped roof that goes that direction. Okay, and then the walls that go around this doorway, they do go to top of steel. The ceiling's at about 10 feet, but the walls themselves go to top of steel. So we're just going to keep drawing just like we did before. We're going to make sure the offset is now 0 though, because we don't need to offset into this walkway right here. So we're just going to go to the edge of this wall and we're just going to follow the outline of these walkways. And I'm just going to do that for all of the entrances. Okay, so as I was going through and putting the walls in, I noticed that this wall right here is not joined correctly. This wall should take precedence over this wall. So the way you fix that is you go to the Modify tab, you go to the wall joins, and you click on this particular wall join here. There we go. And then you just click next until you get the one you want, and that's the one we want. So once we get the one we want, we can just hit escape, and that'll give us the wall join we're looking for. But I'm going to keep going through here. I also did go through and start merging some of the walls together because the only spots that we need to split the wall is just where they have these special entrances, and I was splitting it every time there was a door going outside, but it's unnecessary. We'll just put a door there. But yeah, these special little indent walkways, that's where we need to split the wall and go inward. And then this is where the curtain wall door is going to go there. And I think I got them all. So I think that should be all of them. Let's go ahead and look at it in 3D view. Alright, so you can see we got our indented doorways here. And I think that's what we're going for. And we'll come back and we'll make some modifications to some of these walls as needed as we're putting more detail in. Alright, so I've come into a section view of this this mid roof right here, and the reason is because I needed to create a new level that was the top of steel to this mid roof. And I need to do that because I think that these walls right here that go underneath, they need to go to the top of steel of this wall. So I'm going to click this wall. I'm going to go back to level 1. Sorry, it's actually this wall, and this wall. And we might need to split this wall and have one part of it not as high as the other, but for now I'm just going to leave it. We're going to say top of this one goes to top of steel mid roof, and that's parapets, and that's parapets. Not sure why these aren't connecting. There's probably some really easy explanation for why this isn't doing what I want. So by all means, if you guys know the enigma I have run into and why these walls are not wrapping this exterior 3 layers around this corner, even though they're both technically the same type. And I do have exterior wrapping turned on, and they go to the same height and they start at the same bottom. I don't know, it's just weird. I've never seen it do that before. Normally, if a wall goes to the same bottom and has the same top and they're the same wall and the wraps are turned on, then everything should wrap like it's supposed to. But for some reason, it's not here. And you'll notice that if I go to these other end sections here, it's still doing the same thing. It's not wrapping like it's supposed to. So I might have to dig into that and find out why is the wrap function not working like it's intended to, and see if I can't come up with a solution for that. Alright, so I haven't been able to figure out so far on why that wall is not joining correctly, but that's something I'm going to investigate offline. I want to go ahead and finish out this episode. I apologize we didn't get as far as we wanted, but we did get the exterior walls put in, and we just need to come back in and do some finishing touches with the doors and the walls that are at these different entrances, and then also this entrance right here at the front of the building. So hopefully we'll get to that all in the next video, but I appreciate you guys tuning in with me on this episode. If there's any comments that you would like to leave on things that you would like to see, or details that you would like me to go over that maybe I didn't go in enough detail with, please let me know in the comments. If you really like this video, make sure to subscribe and give a like if you like the video as well. Those are appreciated. And again, I appreciate you guys tuning in with me today, and we'll see you on the next episode.